Alright guys, so today we're just going to be going over a pretty simple Algebra 1 concept that is evaluating expressions through, either addition, multiplication, subtraction, etc., things like that. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Pretty quick lesson. So basically what I'm going to be teaching you here is this concept called substitution. And what substitution is you're given a value that, like, let's say we have a variable. Variable is equal to a certain number. All you have to do is plug that number into the original expression to simplify the expression. So, for example, right here, number 1. Fairly simple. X plus 4 reduces to what when x is equal to 4? Well, if x is equal to 4, we're just going to plug that in there, which means that we're essentially substituting or replacing the x with 4. So we're going to have 4 plus 4 equals, and then 4 plus 4 is obviously 8. So that's pretty simple. That's the answer to number 1. Now number 2. Now what this means here, if you see a number immediately followed by a variable or letter, all that's saying is that these two are being multiplied. So it's essentially 5 times e. Now later on you might need to know that this right here, the 5 in front of the e, is called a coefficient. And yeah, that's just a term that you might need to know. But that is the coefficient of this variable. So 5e is what we're trying to reduce. And we know that e is equal to 6. So what do we do? Well, if it's 5 times e, we know e is 6. It's going to be 5 times 6. And that's obviously equal to 30, right? All right. And now we have this slightly more tricky problem. This involves both multiplication as well as addition. And let's solve this let's reduce it down when f is equal to 1. So all we're going to do is, again, replace the f with 1. So we have the expression 3f plus 15, 3. So it's obviously going to be times 1, right? 3 times 1. And again, by the way, these parentheses, I haven't said it before, but these parentheses around the 1 means the same thing as this multiplication thing. It's just different ways of writing it. So 3 times 1 is equal to 3 times 1, which is equal to 3 times 1. Those are just different ways of writing it. So yeah, those are different ways of writing it. So let me get rid of that. So we have 3 times 1, and we're not done, of course, plus the 15, right? So plus 15. Sorry, I'm kind of running out of ink. But so now what we're going to do is we're just going to follow PEMDAS, right? So we're going to solve using the order of operations. So whatever we have multiplication first and then followed by addition, right? So we got 3 times 1 is 3 plus 15. That's obviously going to be 18. All right, fairly simple. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be solving expressions with 2 variables, multivariable expressions. So that was just one variable. That's pretty simple. Now we're going to get a little bit more advanced with these. So we're going to start off with x plus y. Fairly simple. X is equal to 8, y is equal to 5. No different than this. We're just substituting each variable for its respective value right here. So we know that x is 8. So x and then plus y plus the 5. So 8 plus 5. So because y is 5. And then that's going to simplify to 13. That's our answer for that. Let me box these, actually. I usually box my answer when I'm done. And so we got number 5 now. We have a slightly more complicated problem. Each of these have a coefficient, right? 5f plus 3g is equal to what when f is equal to 4 and g is equal to 10? No different than any other problem here. Just substituting. 5 times 4 plus 3 times 10, right? So 4 here, 10 there, and then we're just going to simplify. So 5 times 4 is 20, right? Plus 3 times 10 is 30, and that reduces to 50 as your answer. Now lastly, we're going to get into a little bit of a trickier one. So I actually kind of challenge you to pause the video right now just to see if you can do this one on your own. 1/4 r plus 1 minus 1/5 s, when r is equal to 4 and s is equal to 25. And what does that simplify to? So I challenge you to pause the video right now, see if you can do it. If you can't, then just unpause it. Or if you want to double check, then unpause and see what I do. All right, guys, so now we're just obviously going to substitute. So 1/4, what is that? r times r, so 4, plus 1 minus, that's supposed to be a 5, by the way, 1/5 s. Well, we know s is 25. So 1/5 times 25 is going to give us what? Well, let's this is a little funky right here. We've got a bunch of parentheses, a plus, a minus, we don't know what to do. So first of all, let's simplify by using our order of operations. We're going to start off with anything in parentheses. Well, we do have parentheses here, but those are already simplified within the parentheses, if that makes sense. No exponents. We do, however, have some multiplication going on. So right here in the beginning, of course, we see that this is 1/4 times 4, and if we just do that, we know that the 4's cancel out. That just gives us 1, right? And then we have this, so we're just going to continue, plus 1 minus. Now we have the 1/5 times 25. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cancel these out, right, because we can do that. These both can be divided by 5, so that ends up being 1. That ends up being 5. It's kind of hard to see, my bad. But that ends up being 1/1 times 5, which is just 5. So that reduces to that, 1 plus 1 minus 5. So 1 plus 1 is 2, right? And then 2 minus 5 is -3, and that's your answer. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if any. And that's about it. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.